honestly most innovative superstars in modern professional wrestling. We're going to map out the incredible journey of Colby Daniel Lopez. You probably know him, along with millions of fans globally, as Seth Rollins. We're going to look at exactly how a passionate kid from the Midwest built a career entirely defined by absolute resilience, unbelievable talent, and above all else, relentless reinvention. But hey, before we rewind to his roots, we gotta fast forward to the absolute peak, the heist of the century. It's an epic phrase, right? But it isn't just a catchy tagline. It actually represents the ultimate payoff of a masterfully rewritten script. It's the absolute climax of Rollins' career, a moment that completely shocked the wrestling world and redefined his legacy forever. But to understand how he pulled off this legendary heist, we really need to understand how the mastermind was forged in the first place.
Section 1. The Blueprint. Early Beginnings.
Now, long before the sold-out stadiums and the blinding lights of global television, there was really just a kid with a massive dream. Born Colby Lopez in Davenport, Iowa, he developed this intense passion for professional wrestling at a super young age. And he first made his name out on the independent circuit as Tyler Black. Think fearless, high-flying indie darling with just incredible technical skills. He built a really impressive reputation, earning championships and deep, deep respect from diehard wrestling fans. But here's the thing. To conquer the biggest company in the world, that high flyer had to completely evolve. He had to become a highly strategic, calculating, and, yeah, even villainous champion on the WWE main roster.
Section 2. The Brotherhood. Immediate Dominance.
So, entering the big leagues of WWE wasn't something he did entirely alone. And this era? It is a masterclass in unstoppable momentum. Check this out. In 2010, he officially signs with WWE and is sent down to their developmental system. He doesn't just participate down there. He absolutely excels, proving he's destined for greatness by becoming the very first ever NXT champion. That raw athleticism and undeniable drive propel him forward to 2012, where he makes this highly explosive main roster debut. And he doesn't just quietly debut either. He arrives as part of a collective force known as The Shield. Now, if you somehow don't know the sheer impact of this group, The Shield was a faction made up of Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose. Listen, this wasn't just a wrestling team. It was an absolute, undisputed takeover of the wrestling landscape. They operated as a tightly unified brotherhood and really quickly became one of the most dominant factions in WWE history. I mean, they took on and defeated the absolute biggest names in the industry. For a time, they were completely untouchable. Which naturally leads us to a massive, mind-boggling question. Why destroy the very team that made you a star? If you are standing at the absolute peak of the mountain with your brothers, destroying everyone in your path, what could possibly possess you to burn it all to the ground? Well, the answer to that question drops right here. 2014. Seriously, anchor this year in your mind, because this is the unforgettable turning point. This is the year the script flipped entirely, and the wrestling world was left completely speechless. Section 3. The Ultimate Betrayal. Aligning with the Authority. In a move that absolutely no one saw coming, Seth Rollins made a deliberate, shocking decision. He turned his back on his brothers in the Shield. He completely betrayed Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, choosing instead to align himself with the corporate power structure known as the Authority. Literally overnight, this pivot transformed him into WWE's ultimate antagonist. He became the top villain. It was an unexpected betrayal that definitely went down as one of the most unforgettable moments in the history of WWE. But, and this is key, strategically it worked. This incredibly risky, villainous turn was exactly the catalyst he needed, setting him directly on a collision course with the coveted WWE Championship. Section 4. The Climax. WrestleMania 31. Okay, so everything we've covered, the teenage training back in Iowa, the independent grind, the sheer dominance of the Shield, and that shocking betrayal, literally all of it funnels down into one singular, high-energy, defining moment of his career, WrestleMania 31, the grandest stage in all of professional wrestling. This is where Seth Rollins orchestrated an opportunistic triumph that fans are literally still talking about today. Let's break down the exact sequence of how he pulled this off play by play. Step 1. Right in the middle of the main event, Rollins sprints down to the ring and cashes in his Money in the Bank contract, instantly inserting himself into a grueling title match that's already underway. Step 2. He actually manages to defeat not one but two of the most dangerous men in the entire industry, Brock Lesnar and his former Shield brother Roman Reigns. Step 3. He walks out with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So the crucial takeaway here is that this exact sequence of opportunistic brilliance is what birthed that famous phrase we discussed at the very start of this explainer, the heist of the century. Section 5, a championship legacy, a decade of success. Because winning the big one at WrestleMania, yeah, that wasn't the end of his story. Honestly, it was merely the beginning of a sustained global superstar run at the absolute pinnacle of the industry. This massive stack of gold represents his journey following that historic night. We're talking WWE Championships, Universal Championships, Intercontinental Championships, United States Championships, Tag Team Championships. He's even a Royal Rumble winner. This brilliance totally illustrates his status not just as some passing trend, but as a multiple-time world champion. He has literally won it all. To summarize exactly how he achieved all of this, we just have to look at his relentless determination. You see, Seth Rollins isn't just known for his outstanding in-ring ability and athletic prowess, though let's be real, he has that in spades. He's known for his charisma and, most importantly, his constant evolution. He's remained one of WWE's biggest stars for more than a decade because he flat out refuses to stay stagnant. In an industry that physically grinds performers down, his mental agility and his willingness to constantly adapt, take huge risks, and completely rewrite his character, that is his true superpower. Which leaves us with this final thought to ponder. In a world that demands constant evolution, are you willing to rewrite your own script to achieve greatness? Colby Lopez became Seth Rollins, the indie darling became the corporate villain, and the architect became an absolute legend, all because he was willing to burn down the old to build something greater. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll leave you to think on that final question.